Build so deeply within yourself that even the absence of support cannot stop your life from rising. Maybe nobody is clapping for you right now. Maybe nobody asks how tired you are. Maybe nobody sees the quiet work you do when the room is silent and your mind feels heavy. But listen closely. Your best life does not begin when people finally support you. It begins when you stop using their silence as a reason to stay the same. This video is about building your life alone without becoming cold, bitter, or broken. It is about taking your pain and turning it into discipline. It is about waking up with nobody pushing you and still choosing to move. It is about making yourself stronger, smarter, calmer, and more focused when people around you do not understand your dream. If you feel alone in your growth, this message is for you. Because sometimes the life you are proud of is built in the season where nobody helped you. Chapter 1. Accept that your life is your job. When you finally accept that your life is your job, something powerful begins to change inside you. Many people spend years waiting for someone to help them move forward. They wait for support from family. They wait for encouragement from friends. They wait for approval from people around them. They wait for someone to notice their effort. They wait for someone to believe in their dream. While they are waiting, time keeps moving. One of the hardest lessons in life is realizing that nobody is required to care about your future more than you do. That is not a negative idea. It is actually one of the most freeing truths you can learn. The moment you stop expecting others to carry your responsibility, you begin to grow stronger. The moment you stop looking around for permission, you start making decisions that improve your life. Think about it honestly. If your health is getting worse, who needs to take action? If your finances are struggling, who needs to learn new skills? If your confidence is low, who needs to work on building it? The answer is always the same. It comes back to you. Many people feel disappointed because they expected support that never arrived. They expected people to understand their goals. They expected friends to cheer them on. They expected family members to see their potential. When those things did not happen, they became discouraged. They slowed down. Some even gave up. But successful people understand something different. They understand that support is wonderful when it exists, but it cannot be the foundation of your progress. Your progress must be built on your own commitment, because support can come and go. People's opinions can change, circumstances can change, but your responsibility remains. There will be days when nobody asks how you are doing. There will be days when nobody notices your effort. There will be days when your hard work produces very little visible reward. Those days test your character. Those days reveal whether you are truly committed or simply motivated by attention. A person who understands that life is their responsibility keeps moving even when nobody is watching. They wake up and do what needs to be done. They continue learning, they continue improving, they continue taking action, not because someone is praising them, but because they know their future depends on today's choices. The truth is that most personal growth happens in private. It happens during the quiet moments. It happens when you choose discipline over comfort. It happens when you finish something you started. It happens when you keep a promise to yourself. Those moments may seem small, but they are shaping your future every single day. Many people underestimate the power of keeping promises to themselves. They tell themselves they will wake up earlier. They tell themselves they will exercise. They tell themselves they will stop wasting time. Then they ignore their own commitment. Every time that happens, their confidence becomes weaker. Confidence is not built by talking. Confidence is built by action. It grows when you prove to yourself that your word matters. Your relationship with yourself is one of the most important relationships you will ever have. If you cannot trust yourself, life becomes much harder. But when you start honoring your commitments, something changes. You begin to respect yourself more. You begin to believe in your ability to handle challenges. You begin to see yourself as someone who can be counted on. There are people right now who are waiting for life to become easier before they take action. They believe they will start once conditions improve. They believe they will become disciplined once they feel motivated. They believe they will chase their goals once they gain confidence. But life rarely works that way. Action comes first. Confidence follows. Discipline comes first. Results follow. Responsibility comes first. Growth follows. The people who build meaningful lives understand this principle deeply. They stop negotiating with their excuses. They stop blaming circumstances for every setback. They stop spending energy complaining about what others failed to do for them. Instead, they ask a better question. They ask, what can I do right now to improve my situation? That question changes everything. Even a small action creates movement. Reading a few pages can improve your knowledge. Saving a small amount of money can improve your future. Taking a walk can improve your health. Practicing a skill can improve your opportunities. Small actions, repeated consistently, create remarkable results over time. The challenge is that these actions are often boring. They are not exciting. They do not bring immediate rewards. That is why many people quit. They want quick results. They want instant change. But real success is usually built through ordinary actions performed consistently. When you accept that your life is your job, you stop chasing shortcuts. You become willing to do the work. You become willing to be patient. You become willing to improve little by little. You understand that every positive step matters. There is also great peace in accepting responsibility. Blaming others may feel satisfying for a moment, but it gives away your power. Responsibility gives that power back to you. If your future depends on your choices, then you have the ability to influence that future. That should make you feel hopeful. You may not control every situation. You may not control how people treat you. You may not control every obstacle that appears in your path. But you always control your response. You always control your attitude. You always control the effort you are willing to give. That is where your strength lives. The people who build their best lives are not always the most talented. They are not always the most connected. They are not always the most supported. Very often, they are simply the people who accepted responsibility and stayed committed long enough to see results. So stop waiting for someone else to take your life seriously. Take it seriously yourself. Stop waiting for someone else to believe in your future. Believe in it yourself. Stop waiting for someone else to rescue you from disappointment, frustration, or difficulty. Start building the habits, skills, and mindset that move you forward. Your life is your responsibility. Your growth is your responsibility. Your future is your responsibility. And the moment you truly accept that, you stop living as a spectator and start becoming the builder of your own life. That is where real change begins. That is where confidence grows. That is where self-respect is earned. And that is where a better future starts to take shape, one decision at a time. Chapter 2. Stop waiting for support and start moving. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck is not because they lack talent. It is not because they lack intelligence. It is not because they lack opportunity. It is because they keep waiting. They wait for encouragement. They wait for someone to tell them they are ready. They wait for a friend to join them. They wait for their family to understand. They wait for perfect conditions. They wait for certainty. While they are waiting, days become months, and months become years. There comes a point in life when you must make a decision. You can continue waiting for support, or you can start building the life you want with the resources you already have. That decision changes everything. Many people secretly believe they need somebody beside them before they can move forward. They think they need approval before making a change. They think they need a team before starting a project. They think they need everyone around them to agree with their goals. The problem with that mindset is simple. Your future becomes dependent on people who may never share your vision. Think about how many dreams have been delayed because someone was waiting for another person to believe in them. Think about how many goals have been abandoned because support never arrived. Think about how many opportunities disappeared because someone spent too much time looking around instead of moving forward. The truth is that most people are focused on their own lives. They are dealing with their own challenges, worries, responsibilities, and problems. They are trying to figure things out just like you are. Expecting them to constantly motivate you is unfair to them and damaging to your own growth. A strong life begins when you learn how to create your own momentum. There will be mornings when nobody checks on your progress. There will be evenings when nobody asks about your goals. There will be moments when you feel invisible. In those moments, your ability to keep moving becomes one of your greatest strengths. Human beings naturally enjoy encouragement. There is nothing wrong with that. Positive words feel good. Recognition feels good. Appreciation feels good. But when those things become requirements, they turn into limitations. You start depending on something outside yourself before taking action. That creates a dangerous pattern, because outside support is never fully under your control. What is under your control is your willingness to take the next step. Sometimes the next step is small. It might be reading instead of scrolling through distractions. It might be waking up 30 minutes earlier. It might be learning a new skill after a long day. It might be exercising when you would rather stay comfortable. These actions seem ordinary, but they separate people who grow from people who stay exactly where they are. Many people imagine that major life changes happen because of one big event. Real life usually works differently. Transformation often happens through small choices repeated over and over again. One good decision may not seem important today. 10 good decisions begin to create progress. 100 good decisions begin to change your life. When support is missing, it is easy to feel discouraged. You may look around and see others receiving help. You may see people with strong networks, financial advantages, or people cheering them on. Comparing your journey to theirs will only drain your energy. Your responsibility is not to live their life. Your responsibility is to make the most of your own situation. Every person starts from a different place. Some begin with advantages. Some begin with obstacles. Some receive guidance early. Others have to learn through experience. What matters is not where you begin. What matters is whether you continue moving forward. There is a powerful lesson hidden inside difficult seasons. When nobody is carrying you, you discover how capable you really are. You learn how to solve problems. You learn how to make decisions. You learn how to recover from setbacks. You learn how to trust your judgment. These lessons create strength that cannot be borrowed from anyone else. Growth often requires independence before it produces results. Imagine a person who decides to improve their life. They begin learning every day. They improve their habits. They manage their money more carefully. They develop new skills. At first, nobody notices. Their effort goes unseen. Their progress feels slow. Many people quit during this stage because they mistake silence for failure. The reality is that meaningful progress often happens before anyone can see it. The student studies long before receiving a certificate. The skilled worker practices long before earning recognition. The healthy person changes daily habits long before visible results appear. The successful business owner makes countless improvements long before people notice the outcome. Patience becomes easier when you stop performing for other people and start working for your own future. One of the most valuable skills you can develop is the ability to stay committed without immediate validation. This skill creates emotional stability. It helps you continue during uncertain periods. It prevents you from giving up simply because others are not paying attention. Too many people attach their motivation to applause. When the applause disappears, so does their effort. Lasting success requires something deeper. It requires personal conviction. It requires knowing why your goal matters. It requires caring enough about your future that you continue regardless of who is watching. Life becomes much more rewarding when you stop asking, "Who is helping me?" and start asking, "What can I do today?" That question puts your attention on action instead of frustration. It shifts your focus away from what is missing and toward what is possible. It turns your energy into something productive. Every day presents an opportunity to move closer to the person you want to become. Some days progress will be obvious. Other days it will feel invisible. Both kinds of days matter. The effort still counts. The lesson still matters. The growth is still taking place. You do not need a crowd behind you to improve your life. You do not need constant encouragement to become stronger. You do not need perfect support to create meaningful change. What you need is a decision to keep going, a decision to keep learning, a decision to keep improving. The people who eventually build remarkable lives are often the same people who spent years moving forward quietly. They kept working while others doubted them. They kept learning while others were distracted. They kept growing while others were waiting for ideal conditions. Their success was not created by waiting. It was created by movement. So stop measuring your progress by the amount of support you receive. Measure it by the actions you take. Measure it by the habits you build. Measure it by the person you are becoming. The future belongs to those who keep moving, not because the road is easy, not because they always feel confident, not because they always receive encouragement. The future belongs to those who choose action over waiting and progress over excuses. Keep moving, keep improving, keep building. One day you will look back and realize that the moment you stopped waiting for support was the moment your life truly began to change. Chapter 3. Build a strong routine nobody can break. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is a strong routine. Not an exciting routine, not a perfect routine, a strong routine. A routine that keeps working when your emotions change. A routine that keeps carrying you forward when life becomes difficult. A routine that protects your progress from distractions, setbacks, and uncertainty. Many people live according to how they feel. If they feel motivated, they work hard. If they feel tired, they stop. If they feel inspired, they take action. If they feel discouraged, they quit. This creates an unstable life because feelings change constantly. Some mornings you wake up energized. Other mornings you wake up worried, frustrated, or exhausted. If your success depends entirely on your emotions, your results will always be inconsistent. A routine creates stability. It gives structure to your days. It removes unnecessary decisions. It helps you continue making progress even when life feels messy. That is why successful people place so much value on daily habits. They understand that consistency creates results that occasional effort never can. Think about how much time people lose because they have no system for their day. They wake up without a plan. They react to whatever appears in front of them. They spend hours on things that do not improve their future. By the evening, they feel busy but accomplished very little. Then they wonder why their goals remain out of reach. A strong routine solves this problem because it gives direction to your actions. It tells you what matters. It helps you focus on important activities instead of random distractions. It keeps your attention on growth instead of temporary comfort. One reason people struggle to build routines is because they try to change everything at once. They create unrealistic schedules. They fill every hour with tasks. They expect immediate perfection. After a few days, they feel overwhelmed and abandon the entire plan. Real improvement does not require a dramatic transformation overnight. It requires simple habits that can be repeated consistently. Small actions performed every day become powerful over time. Reading for 30 minutes each day may seem insignificant. After a year, the knowledge gained can completely change the way you think. Exercising regularly may feel ordinary. After months of consistency, your energy, confidence, and health can improve dramatically. The secret is not intensity. The secret is repetition. Your routine should support the person you want to become. If you want better health, your routine should include actions that strengthen your body. If you want financial improvement, your routine should include learning, planning, and wise decision-making. If you want personal growth, your routine should create time for reflection, learning, and skill development. Many people search for life-changing opportunities while ignoring life-changing habits. Yet habits are often where transformation begins. What you repeatedly do becomes part of who you are. Every action sends a message to yourself about what matters. Every choice either strengthens your future or weakens it. There will always be reasons to skip important tasks. There will always be unexpected challenges. Some days you will feel stressed. Some days you will feel disappointed. Some days you will feel like nothing is working. During those moments, your routine becomes especially valuable because it keeps you moving when your mind wants to stop. A person with no structure is easily pulled off course. A person with clear habits can recover more quickly. They know what they need to do. They return to their routine and continue building momentum. Another benefit of a strong routine is that it reduces mental fatigue. Every decision requires energy. When your daily priorities are already established, you waste less time debating with yourself. You simply follow through on the commitments you have made. Many people spend hours arguing with themselves about whether they should exercise, study, work on their goals, or improve their skills. That internal struggle drains energy. A routine removes much of that conflict because the decision has already been made. The most productive people are not necessarily stronger than everyone else. They often have better systems. They create environments that support good choices. They organize their time carefully. They understand that success is easier when important actions become automatic parts of daily life. Your routine should also protect you from the habits that steal your future. Every day there are distractions competing for your attention, endless entertainment, unnecessary arguments, negative influences, and mindless activities can consume hours without providing anything valuable in return. A strong routine acts like a filter. It helps you recognize what deserves your time and what does not. There is something deeply satisfying about ending the day, knowing you honored your commitments. You feel a sense of progress. You feel a sense of self-respect. You know that regardless of what happened around you, you invested in your future. Over time, these daily victories create confidence, not the kind of confidence based on words or appearances, real confidence. The confidence that comes from knowing you can depend on yourself. The confidence that comes from proving, day after day, that you are willing to do what needs to be done. People often underestimate how much their environment affects their behavior. If your surroundings constantly encourage distraction, building good habits becomes harder. That is why creating a supportive environment matters. Organize your space, remove unnecessary temptations. Make it easier to engage in productive activities. Small adjustments can make a significant difference. Life will never be completely predictable. Unexpected events will happen. Plans will sometimes change. Challenges will appear without warning. A strong routine is not about controlling everything. It is about maintaining direction despite uncertainty. It helps you stay grounded when circumstances become difficult. Some of the most important work you will ever do happens quietly. Nobody applauds you for waking up early. Nobody celebrates every healthy meal. Nobody notices every page you read or every hour you spend improving yourself. Yet these actions are shaping your future in ways that cannot always be seen immediately. The person you become next year is being created by the choices you make today, not by occasional bursts of effort, not by promises about the future, by what you repeatedly do right now. So build a routine that serves your goals. Build habits that strengthen your character. Build systems that support your growth. Keep them simple enough to maintain and strong enough to survive difficult days. A powerful life is rarely built through random actions. It is built through deliberate actions repeated consistently. When your routine becomes stronger than your excuses, stronger than your distractions, and stronger than temporary emotions, you gain something incredibly valuable. You gain control over the direction of your life. And once that happens, progress stops being an accident and starts becoming a way of life. Chapter 4. Keep working when nobody sees your effort. One of the hardest moments in personal growth comes when you are giving your best effort and nobody seems to notice. You are putting in the hours, you are making sacrifices, you are learning new things, you are working on yourself. Yet the people around you act as if nothing has changed. There is no applause, there is no recognition, there is no excitement from others. In those moments, many people begin to question themselves. They start wondering if their effort is worth it. They start wondering if they should stop trying. This is where many dreams quietly disappear. Human beings naturally enjoy appreciation. We like knowing that our work matters. We like hearing encouraging words. We like feeling seen. There is nothing wrong with that. The problem begins when recognition becomes the reason for our effort. The moment your commitment depends on attention from others, your progress becomes fragile. The truth is that some of the most important seasons of your life will happen in silence. There will be periods when nobody understands what you are trying to build. There will be periods when your growth is invisible. There will be periods when your hard work produces no immediate reward. These seasons are difficult because they test your patience, your character, and your ability to keep believing in the process. Many people quit too early because they expect visible results too quickly. They work hard for a short period and then become frustrated when their life looks the same. They forget that meaningful change often takes time. The person who becomes physically fit does not see dramatic results after a few workouts. The person who develops valuable skills does not become an expert after a few days of practice. The person who builds financial stability does not create wealth overnight. Growth is often happening beneath the surface long before it becomes visible. Think about your own life. Some of your greatest improvements probably happened gradually. You became wiser through experiences. You became stronger through challenges. You learned important lessons through mistakes. None of these changes happened instantly. They happened little by little until one day you realized you were no longer the same person. The same principle applies to every worthwhile goal. When nobody notices your effort, it is easy to feel discouraged. You may look at other people receiving praise and wonder why your work is being overlooked. You may compare your journey to someone else's success. You may feel tempted to stop because the reward seems too far away. This is where emotional maturity becomes important. Mature people understand that not every effort receives immediate recognition. They understand that the value of their work is not determined by how many people notice it. They focus on becoming better rather than becoming popular. They focus on progress rather than attention. There is a major difference between seeking improvement and seeking approval. One creates growth. The other creates dependence. When your primary goal is approval, you constantly look outside yourself for validation. When your goal is improvement, you focus on the actions that move your life forward. Many people spend years trying to impress others. They want everyone to see their success. They want everyone to admire their achievements. But there is a deeper satisfaction available. It comes from knowing you are becoming the person you want to be. It comes from knowing you stayed committed even when nobody was watching. That kind of self-respect cannot be purchased. It cannot be given to you by someone else. It is earned through consistent action. There will be evenings when you are tired and tempted to stop. There will be mornings when your goals feel far away. There will be moments when doubt enters your mind. During those moments, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself what kind of future you are trying to create. Remind yourself that today's effort is an investment in tomorrow's possibilities. One of the most dangerous habits is constantly looking for evidence that your work is paying off. When people become obsessed with immediate feedback, they lose focus on the process. They become impatient. They become frustrated. They abandon good habits because the reward is not arriving fast enough. Patience is a powerful advantage. Patience allows you to continue when others give up. Patience allows you to stay focused during slow periods. Patience allows you to keep building while others become distracted by short-term emotions. Every meaningful achievement requires a period of unseen effort. Every skill requires practice. Every strong relationship requires consistent care. Every successful career requires learning and growth. Every major improvement begins long before the results become obvious. Sometimes the most valuable thing happening is not the goal itself. It is the person you are becoming while pursuing the goal. As you continue showing up, you develop discipline. As you continue learning, you develop wisdom. As you continue overcoming obstacles, you develop resilience. These qualities stay with you long after any specific achievement is reached. Many people underestimate the importance of character because character is difficult to measure. Yet character influences every area of life. It influences how you respond to setbacks. It influences how you handle pressure. It influences whether you keep going when circumstances become difficult. Working without recognition develops character in a unique way. It teaches you how to stay committed for the right reasons. It teaches you how to trust your own standards. It teaches you how to maintain effort even when external rewards are absent. The world often celebrates visible success. What people rarely see are the countless hours that came before it. They see the achievement. They do not see the preparation. They see the result. They do not see the years of learning. They see the outcome. They do not see the sacrifices. Understanding this reality helps you stay patient with your own journey. Do not assume that silence means failure. Do not assume that slow progress means no progress. Do not assume that being overlooked means your effort has no value. Some of the most important work you will ever do happens during the periods when nobody is paying attention. Stay committed to your growth. Stay faithful to your goals. Continue developing your skills. Continue improving your habits. Continue investing in yourself. The people who eventually build remarkable lives are often the same people who spent years working quietly while others were distracted. They kept learning when nobody noticed. They kept practicing when nobody applauded. They kept improving when nobody expected anything from them. One day the results became visible. But the real victory happened much earlier. The real victory happened every time they chose to continue despite the absence of recognition. Your effort matters even when it goes unseen. Your progress matters even when it feels slow. Your commitment matters even when nobody acknowledges it. Keep working, keep growing, keep improving. The person you are becoming is worth every ounce of effort, and the future you are creating is being shaped by choices that many people will never see. That is why your dedication today has far more value than temporary praise ever could. Chapter 5. Grow your life without needing permission. One of the most limiting habits a person can develop is waiting for permission to improve their life. It happens more often than people realize. Someone wants to start a business, but they wait for approval from family. Someone wants to learn a new skill, but they wait for friends to encourage them. Someone wants to make a major change, but they spend months wondering what other people will think. In many cases, the opportunity is already available. The ability to begin already exists. Yet, progress is delayed because they are looking for a green light from someone else. Life becomes much more powerful when you understand a simple truth. You do not need permission to become better. You do not need permission to become healthier. You do not need permission to become more disciplined. You do not need permission to learn, grow, improve, and move your life in a positive direction. Many people are living far below their potential because they have handed over too much control of their decisions to the opinions of others. They are constantly asking themselves questions such as, will people support this? Will people agree with this? Will people understand this? These questions may seem harmless, but they can quietly prevent growth. The reality is that not everyone will understand your goals. Not everyone will see your vision. Not everyone will share your priorities. Sometimes people will question your decisions simply because they are unfamiliar with the path you have chosen. Sometimes they will project their own fears onto your future. Sometimes they will discourage you without even realizing it. This is why personal growth requires courage. Courage is not only about facing major challenges. Courage is also about making positive decisions when nobody around you fully understands them. It is about trusting your judgment enough to take action. It is about believing that your future deserves attention even when others are focused on different things. Think about how many opportunities people miss because they worry about criticism. They avoid taking classes because someone might laugh at them. They avoid speaking up because someone might disagree. They avoid chasing meaningful goals because someone might think they are aiming too high. They avoid trying something new because they fear making mistakes in front of others. When fear of judgment controls your decisions, your growth becomes limited by other people's opinions. One of the most freeing moments in life happens when you realize that other people's approval is not a requirement for your progress. Their support can be helpful. Their encouragement can be valuable. But your future cannot depend on whether they agree with your choices. Many successful people had to move forward long before they received recognition. Many had to trust themselves before anyone else trusted them. Many had to continue learning before others saw the value of what they were doing. Their confidence was not built by public approval. It was built through action. There is something powerful about making a commitment to yourself and following through on it. Every time you take action without waiting for validation, you strengthen your independence. You begin to trust your ability to make decisions. You become less influenced by temporary opinions. You become more focused on what truly matters. This does not mean ignoring wise advice. It does not mean rejecting feedback. There is value in learning from experienced people. There is value in listening carefully. But listening is different from surrendering control of your life. Advice should help you think more clearly. It should not prevent you from taking responsibility for your own future. Many people spend years asking for permission in subtle ways. They constantly seek reassurance before every decision. They repeatedly ask others if they should pursue a goal. They look for guarantees before taking action. They search for certainty in situations where certainty does not exist. Growth often requires moving forward without complete certainty. You may not know exactly how things will turn out. You may not have every answer. You may not feel fully prepared. Yet, waiting for perfect confidence often creates endless delay. Progress belongs to people who are willing to learn while moving forward. One reason people seek permission is because they want protection from failure. They believe that if someone else approves their decision, they will feel safer. But life does not offer guarantees. Every worthwhile goal contains uncertainty. Every meaningful pursuit involves risk. Every significant achievement requires faith in your ability to adapt and learn. The good news is that you do not need to know everything before you begin. You only need enough courage to take the next step. As you continue growing, you will discover something interesting. The more responsibility you accept for your life, the less dependent you become on outside approval. Your confidence starts coming from your actions rather than from compliments. Your self-respect begins growing because you know you are honoring your commitments. This creates a stronger foundation for success. People who depend heavily on approval often experience emotional ups and downs. When they receive praise, they feel strong. When they receive criticism, they feel defeated. Their emotional state becomes controlled by external reactions. This creates instability. When your confidence is built on personal growth, your emotional foundation becomes stronger. You know who you are. You know what you are working toward. You know why your goals matter. Because of this, temporary opinions have less power over your direction. Another important lesson is understanding that your life belongs to you. The consequences of your choices belong to you. The opportunities you pursue belong to you. The future you create belongs to you. Since that is true, it makes sense to become the primary decision-maker in your own life. Far too many people reach a point where they regret not taking action sooner. They look back and realize they spent years worrying about reactions that never mattered. They delayed important decisions because they feared criticism. They postponed dreams because they wanted universal approval. Eventually, they discover that time continued moving forward, regardless of what anyone thought. Do not allow that to happen to you. There are books waiting to be read, skills waiting to be learned, habits waiting to be developed, opportunities waiting to be explored, improvements waiting to be made. None of these require permission. They require initiative. Your future can begin changing the moment you decide to take ownership of your growth. Not next year, not when everyone supports you, not when every doubt disappears. Right now, continue learning, continue improving, continue building, continue investing in yourself. Do it because your life matters. Do it because your potential deserves attention. Do it because the person you can become is worth the effort. The people who create meaningful lives are rarely the people who waited for permission. They are the people who accepted responsibility, trusted their ability to learn, and moved forward despite uncertainty. Give yourself permission to grow. Give yourself permission to improve. Give yourself permission to build a better future. Then, get to work. Your next chapter is waiting for you to begin writing it. Chapter 6. Make yourself better instead of feeling bitter. Life will disappoint you at times. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will disappoint you. There will be moments when you give your best and still do not receive the outcome you hoped for. There will be situations where you are treated unfairly. There will be times when others receive opportunities that you wanted. There will be moments when you feel overlooked, misunderstood, or left behind. These experiences are part of life. Nobody escapes them. The important question is not whether these moments will happen. The important question is what you will do after they happen. Many people allow disappointment to become bitterness. They carry old frustrations for years. They replay painful experiences in their minds. They focus on what should have happened instead of what can happen next. Over time, their energy becomes trapped in resentment. They stop growing because they are constantly looking backward. Bitterness is a heavy burden. It drains motivation. It steals peace. It affects relationships. It makes it difficult to enjoy progress because attention remains fixed on old wounds. A person can have opportunities right in front of them and still fail to see them because they are consumed by anger about the past. One of the most powerful decisions you can make is choosing growth over resentment. This does not mean pretending painful experiences never happened. It does not mean ignoring disappointment. It means refusing to allow negative experiences to control the direction of your life. It means deciding that your future is too important to be sacrificed to old frustrations. Think about how much time people spend focusing on what they cannot change. They think about conversations that happened years ago. They think about people who let them down. They think about mistakes they wish they had never made. They think about missed chances. These thoughts consume emotional energy without creating improvement. The past can teach valuable lessons, but it cannot be changed. The future, however, is still being created. Every hour spent feeding bitterness is an hour not invested in growth. Every day spent blaming circumstances is a day not spent improving skills, strengthening character, or creating new opportunities. One reason bitterness is so dangerous is because it feels justified. When someone treats you unfairly, anger can seem reasonable. When life becomes difficult, frustration can feel understandable. When expectations are shattered, disappointment is natural. The problem is not experiencing these emotions. The problem is living inside them for years. Healthy people process difficult emotions and then move forward. Unhealthy people build a permanent home inside those emotions. Personal growth requires emotional maturity. Emotional maturity means accepting that life is not always fair while continuing to move forward anyway. It means understanding that disappointment is part of the human experience. It means refusing to allow setbacks to become your identity. Some people spend decades talking about what happened to them. Others spend those same decades building something meaningful. The difference often comes down to where they place their focus. Your attention is one of your most valuable resources. Whatever receives your attention grows stronger. If you constantly focus on problems, those problems will dominate your thinking. If you focus on learning, improvement, and opportunity, your mind begins searching for ways to move forward. Consider what happens when a person experiences failure. One person sees failure as proof that they should stop trying. Another person sees failure as information. They study what happened. They make adjustments. They improve their approach. Both individuals experienced the same event, but their response created completely different outcomes. The ability to learn from disappointment instead of becoming trapped by it is a major advantage in life. There is also another truth that many people overlook. Sometimes the people who hurt you, doubted you, ignored you, or underestimated you are no longer thinking about those situations at all. Meanwhile, you may still be carrying the emotional weight years later. In that case, bitterness harms you far more than it harms anyone else. That is why forgiveness can be such a powerful act. Forgiveness is not about pretending wrong actions were acceptable. It is about releasing the emotional burden so you can continue living your life. It is about choosing freedom over resentment. Many people think success is primarily about intelligence, talent, or opportunity. Those things matter, but emotional control matters too. The ability to stay focused despite disappointment is a skill. The ability to remain positive during difficult seasons is a skill. The ability to keep growing after setbacks is a skill. Skills can be developed. Every challenge you face gives you a choice. You can become more bitter or more mature. You can become more negative or more resilient. You can become more frustrated or more focused. The choice may not always feel easy, but it always influences the person you become. One of the best ways to protect yourself from bitterness is to stay engaged in meaningful growth. Continue learning. Continue improving your habits. Continue developing your skills. Continue pursuing worthwhile goals. Progress creates momentum. Momentum creates hope. Hope helps you keep moving. People who are actively building a better future have less time to live in the past. There is something deeply satisfying about becoming stronger because of challenges rather than weaker because of them. There is something powerful about reaching a point where painful experiences no longer control your emotions. There is something inspiring about looking at a setback and deciding it will become a lesson instead of a limitation. Life has a way of testing people. Sometimes the test comes through failure. Sometimes it comes through rejection. Sometimes it comes through disappointment. These moments reveal character. They reveal whether a person will allow circumstances to define them or whether they will continue growing despite difficulties. Your future does not have to look like your past. A painful chapter does not have to become the entire story. A difficult season does not have to determine the rest of your life. You have the ability to learn, adapt, improve, and move forward. Make your energy valuable. Invest it in things that help you grow. Invest it in building skills. Invest it in improving your health. Invest it in strengthening your mindset. Invest it in creating opportunities. Invest it in becoming the kind of person who can handle challenges with wisdom and confidence. The world already contains enough angry people, enough bitter people, enough frustrated people. Become someone different. Become someone who transforms disappointment into determination. Become someone who turns setbacks into lessons. Become someone who uses adversity as a reason to improve. Your life becomes better when your focus shifts from what happened to what is possible. Your confidence grows when you realize that growth is always available regardless of circumstances. Your future becomes brighter when you stop feeding resentment and start feeding improvement. Do not give your energy to bitterness. Give your energy to becoming stronger, wiser, more disciplined, and more capable. The greatest response to disappointment is not revenge. It is not anger. It is not endless frustration. The greatest response is growth. Because when you become better, your entire life begins to change with you. Chapter 7. Stay committed when everything feels against you. There will be seasons in your life when it feels like everything is working against you. No matter how hard you try, progress seems slow. No matter how much effort you give, new problems appear. You make a plan and something unexpected happens. You work toward a goal and an obstacle gets in the way. You begin to feel tired. You begin to question yourself. You begin to wonder if all your effort is worth it. These are the moments that separate people who achieve meaningful things from people who quietly give up on their dreams. Anybody can stay committed when life feels easy. Anybody can stay positive when results arrive quickly. Anybody can feel motivated when circumstances are favorable. The real test comes when nothing seems to be going your way. The real test comes when you feel disappointed, frustrated, and uncertain, yet still choose to continue. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that commitment should always feel good. They think commitment means waking up excited every day. They think commitment means having endless motivation. They think commitment means never struggling with doubt. Real commitment is very different. Real commitment means continuing even when excitement disappears. It means honoring your goals when progress feels invisible. It means staying focused during difficult periods. It means refusing to abandon your future because the present moment is uncomfortable. Life has a way of challenging every person. Nobody is exempt from hardship. Some people face financial difficulties. Some struggle with loneliness. Some experience rejection. Some deal with health challenges. Some carry responsibilities that others cannot see. Every person has battles that test their strength. The important thing to remember is that difficult seasons are not permanent. Problems feel overwhelming when you are living through them, but circumstances change. Situations improve. New opportunities appear. Solutions emerge. What feels impossible today may look completely different a year from now. This is why patience and commitment are so valuable. Many people make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. They quit because they feel discouraged. They abandon goals because they feel frustrated. They stop trying because they feel tired. Emotions are real, but emotions are not always reliable guides for important decisions. Think about how often feelings change. One day you feel confident. The next day you feel uncertain. One morning you feel optimistic. The following morning you feel worried. If your commitment rises and falls with your emotions, your progress will always be unstable. Strong people understand that feelings come and go. They do not allow temporary emotions to determine the direction of their lives. They continue taking positive actions even during difficult periods. There is tremendous power in showing up when you do not feel like showing up. There is tremendous value in continuing to learn when results are slow. There is tremendous value in continuing to improve when recognition is absent. Every time you remain committed despite challenges, you strengthen your character. Character is built during difficult moments. Anybody can say they are dedicated. Anybody can say they want success. Anybody can talk about goals. Character is revealed through actions, especially when circumstances become uncomfortable. One reason people struggle during difficult seasons is because they focus entirely on what is going wrong. Their attention becomes consumed by obstacles. They think about problems from morning until night. They replay disappointments repeatedly. They become trapped inside negative thinking. The human mind tends to move toward whatever receives consistent attention. If you constantly focus on difficulties, those difficulties begin to feel larger. If you focus on solutions, opportunities become easier to recognize. This does not mean pretending problems do not exist. It means refusing to let problems become the center of your life. Challenges deserve attention, but they do not deserve complete control of your mindset. When everything feels difficult, one of the most powerful things you can do is return your focus to the next step. Not the next year, not the next decade, the next step. Ask yourself simple questions. What can I improve today? What can I learn today? What action can I take right now? These questions create movement. Movement creates momentum. Momentum helps you regain confidence. Many people become overwhelmed because they focus on the entire mountain instead of the next step. They look at everything that still needs to happen and become discouraged. Progress becomes easier when you concentrate on what can be done today. Commitment also requires faith in your ability to grow through challenges. Every difficult season contains lessons. Every setback teaches something valuable. Every obstacle develops qualities that cannot be developed during easy times. Pressure often reveals strengths you did not know you possessed. There are people who discovered their resilience during hardship. There are people who discovered their courage during uncertainty. There are people who discovered their determination during moments when giving up seemed easier. You may be stronger than you realize. Many individuals underestimate themselves because they focus too much on their current struggles. They fail to recognize how much they have already overcome. They forget the challenges they survived. They forget the difficult situations they navigated successfully. Take a moment to consider your own life. You have already faced obstacles. You have already experienced disappointment. You have already handled difficult situations. Yet you are still here. You are still learning. You are still growing. That should remind you of your strength. One of the greatest dangers during difficult seasons is isolation. When people feel discouraged, they sometimes withdraw completely. They stop engaging with positive influences. They stop learning. They stop investing in themselves. They allow frustration to consume their attention. Instead of withdrawing from growth, lean into it. Continue reading. Continue learning. Continue developing yourself. Continue improving your habits. Growth provides stability during uncertain times. Remember that progress is not always visible. Sometimes growth happens internally before it appears externally. Sometimes important changes are taking place beneath the surface. Just because you cannot immediately see results does not mean your effort is being wasted. A seed does not become a tree overnight. A skill does not become mastery overnight. A dream does not become reality overnight. Important things take time. The people who build extraordinary lives are not necessarily the people who avoid difficulty. They are often the people who refuse to quit when difficulty appears. They understand that setbacks are part of the journey. They understand that obstacles are temporary. They understand that commitment matters most when circumstances become challenging. There will be moments when you feel alone. There will be moments when you feel tired. There will be moments when you question whether the effort is worth it. During those moments, remember why you started. Remember the future you are trying to create. Remember the person you are trying to become. Stay committed. Stay committed to your growth. Stay committed to your values. Stay committed to your goals. Stay committed to becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable. Life may challenge you. Circumstances may test you. Obstacles may slow you down. But none of these things have the power to stop you unless you decide to stop yourself. Keep moving forward. Keep learning. Keep improving. Keep believing that your best days are still ahead of you. Because many of the greatest victories in life belong to the people who remained committed long after everyone else would have given up. Chapter 8. Create your own chances when none appear. One of the most common reasons people stop pursuing their goals is because they believe they are waiting for an opportunity that has not arrived yet. They tell themselves that things will improve once someone gives them a chance. They believe they can move forward when the right person notices them. They think progress will begin when circumstances become more favorable. While they continue waiting, valuable time passes by. The truth is that some of the most successful people did not begin with extraordinary opportunities. They began with ordinary circumstances and a decision to take action anyway. They stopped focusing on what was missing and started using what was available. They stopped asking why opportunities were not appearing and started creating opportunities through effort, learning, and persistence. There is a powerful lesson in that idea. Many people spend years looking for doors to open. Few people spend time building new doors. Many people hope that someone will discover their potential. Few people focus on developing their potential so thoroughly that it becomes impossible to ignore. Many people wait for better conditions. Few people learn how to make progress under difficult conditions. The ability to create your own chances is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. Life does not always distribute opportunities equally. Some people begin with advantages. Some people have helpful connections. Some people receive support early in life. Others have to build everything from the ground up. Complaining about this reality does not change it. What changes your future is learning how to work with the circumstances you have. Every person has something they can improve today. Every person has something they can learn. Every person has the ability to become more valuable, more skilled, more knowledgeable, and more prepared. Those improvements create possibilities that did not exist before. Think about someone who wants a better career. They could spend years complaining about a lack of opportunities. Or they could spend that same time learning valuable skills, improving communication, gaining knowledge, and becoming more capable. Eventually, their value increases. New possibilities begin to appear because they are no longer the same person they used to be. Growth creates opportunities. One reason people feel trapped is because they underestimate how much control they actually have. They focus entirely on external factors. They focus on things they cannot change. They focus on decisions made by other people. They focus on limitations instead of possibilities. A stronger approach is asking a different question. Instead of asking, "Why am I not getting opportunities?" ask, "How can I become more prepared when opportunities appear?" This question shifts your attention from frustration to action. Prepared people often recognize chances that unprepared people miss. Imagine two individuals facing the same situation. One has spent years learning, improving, and developing useful skills. The other has spent years waiting. When an opportunity finally appears, the prepared person is ready. The waiting person is not. From the outside, it may look like luck. In reality, preparation often plays a much bigger role than people realize. This is why personal development is so important. Every book you read adds knowledge. Every skill you practice increases your value. Every productive habit strengthens your future. These actions may seem small today, but they accumulate over time. Many people want extraordinary results while avoiding ordinary preparation. They want success without learning. They want improvement without discipline. They want opportunities without growth. Life rarely works that way. The people who consistently move forward are usually the people who continue improving even when nothing exciting is happening. They use quiet seasons wisely. They prepare during periods when nobody is paying attention. They invest in themselves long before rewards become visible. Another important truth is that opportunities often arrive disguised as work. Many people imagine opportunities as dramatic moments that instantly change everything. Real life is often different. Opportunities frequently arrive in the form of responsibilities, challenges, learning experiences, or difficult tasks. They require effort. They require patience. They require commitment. That is why some people miss opportunities entirely. They are looking for something easy, comfortable, or immediate. They overlook valuable experiences because those experiences require work. Growth often begins when you become willing to do what others avoid. There is also tremendous value in taking initiative. Initiative means acting without being told. It means looking for ways to improve situations instead of waiting for instructions. It means solving problems instead of complaining about them. It means becoming someone who creates value wherever they go. People notice initiative. Employers notice it. Leaders notice it. Customers notice it. Friends notice it. Initiative demonstrates responsibility, maturity, and commitment. You may not control how quickly opportunities appear, but you can control the qualities you develop while waiting. You can improve your work ethic. You can strengthen your communication skills. You can become more disciplined. You can learn how to manage your time effectively. You can increase your knowledge. These improvements create a stronger foundation for future success. Many breakthroughs happen because someone refused to remain passive. Instead of waiting for an invitation, they learned something new. Instead of waiting for approval, they started practicing. Instead of waiting for perfect conditions, they used the resources they already had. Their progress began long before anyone recognized it. This mindset is especially important when building a life without constant support. If you spend your energy waiting for someone else to create opportunities for you, disappointment becomes likely. But when you take responsibility for creating momentum, your future becomes much more flexible. Momentum is powerful. One positive action leads to another. One skill creates the possibility of learning another. One improvement creates confidence to pursue larger goals. Progress tends to build upon itself. The beginning is often the hardest part, because results are not immediate. You may spend weeks or months improving yourself without obvious rewards. During that period, many people become discouraged. They assume nothing is happening. Something is happening. You are becoming more capable. You are becoming more prepared. You are becoming more valuable. These changes may not be visible yet, but they are real. Over time, preparation and persistence begin producing results. New connections appear. New ideas emerge. New possibilities become available. What once seemed impossible starts looking achievable. The people who build meaningful lives are rarely those who spend years waiting for ideal circumstances. They are the people who keep developing themselves regardless of circumstances. They understand that personal growth creates possibilities. They understand that action creates momentum. They understand that initiative creates opportunities. Stop believing that your future depends entirely on someone else's decision. Stop believing that your progress must wait for perfect conditions. Stop believing that opportunity is something that only happens to other people. Start building your value. Start expanding your knowledge. Start developing your skills. Start taking initiative. The world often rewards people who are prepared enough to recognize opportunities and brave enough to act on them. Your next opportunity may not arrive tomorrow. It may not arrive next week. But every day you invest in yourself increases the chances that you will be ready when it does. And when that moment comes, you will not need luck to carry you forward. You will have preparation, discipline, experience, and confidence working in your favor. That is how people create their own chances. They become the kind of person who is ready when opportunity finally arrives. Chapter 9. Turn every setback into a reason to grow. Every person wants success. Every person wants progress. Every person wants life to go according to plan. Yet, no matter how intelligent, disciplined, or hardworking you are, setbacks will still happen. Plans will fail. Opportunities will disappear. Mistakes will be made. People will disappoint you. Goals will take longer than expected. There will be moments when life does not give you the result you worked for. What separates successful people from unsuccessful people is not the absence of setbacks. The difference is how they respond when setbacks arrive. Many people see a setback as a stop sign. They see one failure and assume they are not capable. They experience one rejection and assume they are not good enough. They face one obstacle and conclude that life is against them. Because of this mindset, they stop growing. They allow temporary events to define their future. Strong people view setbacks differently. They do not enjoy failure. They do not celebrate disappointment. They do not pretend difficulties are easy. But they understand something important. Every setback contains information. Every setback reveals something that can be learned. Every setback provides an opportunity to become wiser, stronger, and more capable. Life teaches lessons in many ways. Sometimes those lessons come through success. Sometimes they come through mistakes. In many cases, the most valuable lessons come from situations that did not go as planned. Think about your own experiences. Some of the greatest growth in your life probably came during difficult periods. You learned patience because things took longer than expected. You learned resilience because you had to keep going through challenges. You learned wisdom because you made mistakes. You learned strength because life forced you to become stronger. Growth often comes from experiences that nobody would choose voluntarily. One reason setbacks are so painful is because they challenge our expectations. We imagine a certain outcome. We picture a certain future. We become emotionally attached to a specific result. When reality does not match our expectations, disappointment appears. Disappointment is normal. It is part of being human. The important thing is not staying trapped in disappointment. The important thing is learning how to move forward from it. Many people spend too much time asking questions that have no productive answers. They ask, "Why did this happen to me?" They ask, "Why is life unfair?" They ask, "Why am I struggling?" These questions often lead to frustration because they keep attention focused on the problem. A more useful question is, "What can this experience teach me?" That question changes everything. Instead of becoming a victim of the setback, you become a student of the setback. You begin looking for lessons. You begin looking for areas where you can improve. You begin looking for ways to grow. This approach creates strength because it transforms difficult experiences into valuable education. One failed attempt can teach preparation. One rejection can teach persistence. One poor decision can teach wisdom. One challenge can reveal strengths that were hidden before. When you adopt this mindset, setbacks stop being purely negative events. They become opportunities for development. There is another reason. Growth matters during difficult times. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can influence who you become because of it. Two people can experience the same setback and end up with completely different outcomes. One person becomes discouraged and gives up. The other becomes more determined and improves. The event was the same. The response was different. Your response has tremendous power. Life is not always about what happens. Life is often about how you interpret what happens. If you see every obstacle as proof that you should quit, your progress will be limited. If you see obstacles as opportunities to learn, your growth becomes continuous. This does not mean every setback immediately makes sense. Sometimes lessons become clear only after time passes. Sometimes growth happens gradually. Sometimes the value of an experience is understood months or years later. Patience becomes important during those moments. There will be situations where you do everything right and still experience disappointment. There will be situations where effort does not produce immediate results. There will be situations where circumstances are outside your control. During these moments, it is easy to become discouraged. But remember this: a setback does not erase your progress. One difficult chapter does not cancel everything you have learned. One failure does not erase your skills. One rejection does not reduce your value. One mistake does not determine the rest of your life. Too many people allow temporary events to create permanent conclusions. They fail once and decide they are failures. They struggle once and decide they are weak. They experience rejection and decide they are unworthy. These conclusions are not facts. They are emotional reactions. Your life is bigger than one moment. Your future is bigger than one setback. Your potential is bigger than one mistake. The people who achieve meaningful things understand this deeply. They know that progress is rarely a straight line. They know that growth includes challenges. They know that improvement requires persistence. Instead of asking whether setbacks will happen, they prepare themselves to respond effectively when setbacks arrive. One way to do this is by focusing on what remains possible instead of what has been lost. Every setback closes some doors, but it also leaves others open. Every disappointment creates a choice. You can spend your energy dwelling on what went wrong, or you can invest your energy in creating a better next step. Forward movement is powerful. Even small actions help rebuild confidence. Learning something new helps rebuild momentum. Improving one habit helps restore direction. Taking responsibility for your next step creates hope. Hope is important because it keeps you moving when circumstances are difficult. Many people think confidence comes before action. In reality, confidence often comes from action. It comes from continuing despite challenges. It comes from proving to yourself that setbacks cannot stop your growth. Every time you refuse to quit, you become stronger. Every time you choose learning over self-pity, you become wiser. Every time you choose improvement over excuses, you become more capable. These changes may not happen overnight, but they accumulate over time. The person who keeps growing through setbacks develops qualities that cannot be developed any other way. They develop patience. They develop resilience. They develop emotional strength. They develop perspective. These qualities become valuable assets throughout life. Do not waste your setbacks. Use them, study them, learn from them. Allow them to teach you something valuable. Allow them to reveal areas where you can improve. Allow them to make you stronger than you were before. The goal is not to avoid every challenge. The goal is to become the kind of person who grows through challenges. Life will continue presenting obstacles. There will always be moments that test your patience, your discipline, and your commitment. Those moments do not have to break you. They can build you. Every setback contains a choice. You can allow it to become a reason to stop, or you can allow it to become a reason to grow. Choose growth. Choose learning. Choose progress. Because the people who build extraordinary lives are not the people who never face setbacks. They are the people who refuse to let setbacks have the final word. Chapter 10. Build a life nobody can take away. As you reach this point, there is one final lesson that brings everything together. It is a lesson that can change the way you think about success, happiness, growth, and personal strength. The lesson is simple. Build a life nobody can take away. Many people spend years building things that depend entirely on outside circumstances. They build their confidence on the opinions of others. They build their happiness on how people treat them. They build their sense of worth on their job title, their income, or their social status. The problem with this approach is that anything built entirely on external conditions can be shaken when those conditions change. Jobs can change, circumstances can change, relationships can change, economic conditions can change, people's opinions can change, life itself can change very quickly. When your entire identity depends on things outside your control, every unexpected challenge feels threatening. Every loss feels devastating. Every setback feels like the end of the story. A stronger approach is building your life on things that stay with you regardless of circumstances. Your character stays with you. Your knowledge stays with you. Your discipline stays with you. Your ability to learn stays with you. Your values stay with you. Your resilience stays with you. Your experience stays with you. These are assets that cannot easily be taken away because they become part of who you are. Think about someone who spends years developing valuable skills. Even if they lose a position, they still possess those skills. Think about someone who spends years building discipline. Even if circumstances become difficult, that discipline remains available. Think about someone who spends years strengthening their mindset. Even when challenges appear, that inner strength remains. This is why personal development is one of the safest investments you can ever make. The effort you invest in yourself creates benefits that continue long into the future. Knowledge compounds. Experience compounds. Good habits compound. Emotional strength compounds. These investments often produce rewards for years. One of the greatest mistakes people make is focusing entirely on building an impressive life on the outside while neglecting the person on the inside. They chase appearances, they chase approval, they chase status. Yet they never develop the qualities required to handle success wisely. A strong life is built from the inside out. When your values are clear, decisions become easier. When your discipline is strong, progress becomes more consistent. When your confidence comes from self-respect, criticism becomes easier to handle. When your happiness comes from purpose and growth, temporary setbacks lose much of their power. This is especially important when building a life without constant support from others. If your confidence depends on approval, you become vulnerable whenever approval disappears. If your motivation depends on encouragement, you struggle when encouragement is absent. If your happiness depends entirely on external circumstances, your emotions become unstable. But when your foundation is built on personal growth, responsibility, discipline, and character, you create stability that remains available during difficult times. Life becomes less about what is happening around you and more about who you are becoming. Many people believe success is primarily about acquiring things. There is nothing wrong with wanting financial security, opportunities, or achievements. These goals can be valuable, but real success goes deeper than possessions. Real success includes peace of mind. Real success includes self-respect. Real success includes knowing that you are growing into the best version of yourself. Real success includes waking up each day knowing that your actions are aligned with your values. Those are achievements that no one can easily take away. There will always be people who compare themselves to others. They compare incomes, they compare careers, they compare lifestyles, they compare achievements. This comparison often creates frustration because there will always be someone who appears to have more. A better approach is comparing yourself to the person you used to be. Are you wiser than you were a year ago? Are you more disciplined than you were a year ago? Are you making better decisions? Are you handling challenges more effectively? Are you continuing to learn and improve? These questions focus attention on growth rather than comparison. Growth creates a sense of fulfillment that external validation can never fully provide. One reason many people feel empty despite achieving certain goals is because they expected external success to solve internal problems. They thought achievement would automatically create confidence. They thought recognition would automatically create happiness. They thought success would automatically create peace. Yet, peace comes from how you live. Confidence comes from how you act. Fulfillment comes from who you become. That is why building yourself is so important. Every book you read matters. Every positive habit matters. Every lesson learned matters. Every act of discipline matters. Every effort to improve matters. These actions may seem small on a daily basis, but over time, they create a remarkable life. Another important truth is that life becomes more meaningful when you focus on contribution rather than just consumption. Learn useful things, share useful things, help people when possible, add value wherever you can. Growth becomes more rewarding when it improves not only your own life, but also the lives of others. A person who develops wisdom can share wisdom. A person who develops strength can encourage others. A person who develops discipline can inspire others through example. Your growth has the potential to create positive effects far beyond yourself. As you continue building your life, remember that perfection is not required. Nobody gets everything right. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone experiences setbacks. Everyone faces periods of uncertainty. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. The goal is becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable over time. The goal is creating a life that remains meaningful regardless of temporary circumstances. The goal is becoming someone who can stand confidently even when support is limited. The goal is developing qualities that remain valuable throughout every season of life. If you have followed the lessons throughout this journey, you already understand something important. Your future does not depend entirely on what happens around you. It depends greatly on what happens within you. You have the ability to grow. You have the ability to learn. You have the ability to adapt. You have the ability to improve. You have the ability to keep moving forward. These abilities are powerful because they remain available regardless of circumstances. There may be seasons when people support you and seasons when they do not. There may be seasons of abundance and seasons of challenge. There may be seasons of recognition and seasons of silence. Through all of those seasons, continue building yourself. Continue strengthening your character. Continue expanding your knowledge. Continue improving your habits. Continue developing your mindset. Continue becoming the person you are capable of becoming. Because when your life is built on growth, discipline, wisdom, purpose, and self-respect, you create something incredibly valuable. You create a life that circumstances cannot easily shake. You create a life that criticism cannot easily damage. You create a life that setbacks cannot easily destroy. You create a life that nobody can take away, and that is one of the greatest achievements any person can ever accomplish.